The latest tech.
I'm Alexa. I can answer your questions.
Interviews.
And we are evolving, and we are seeing an amazing opportunity that is happening.
Accessibility.
Accessibility is one of our core values. It's even a part of our mission statement.
This is DoubleTap TV.
Welcome to another edition of Double Tap TV. Thank you guys so much for being here with us each and every single week. If you want to get in touch, please email us. It is feedback@AMI.CA. On all our social media, where we're getting super hot and heavy, Stephen, it is at Double Tap Canada and at doubletap.online. I am Mark AFLALO in Montreal, as always, joined by my Mr. Friend co-host, whatever you want to call yourself, Stephen Scott, all the way in Glasgow, Scotland. Stephen, how are you feeling this week as we look towards Halloween?
Oh, scary. Scary fingers. Got to do scary fingers, Mark. It doesn't work otherwise. No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for using the word friend in there. That was nice. It was friendly. It was welcoming. Unlike you.
You know, season 4, I figure by now we can call each other friends.
Exactly. We've been to my house.
That's entirely up to them, Stephen.
Listen, you've been at my house. You have drunk Iron Brew. You're officially a member of the Scottish family, and that is the Scot and Scottish family. See what I did there?
Am I a lord? Am I a lord? Do I get a tartan? Do I get a kilt? What's going on here? How does this work?
No.
Tell me.
No, you get nothing.
Not even a membership card?
You get more Iron Brew.
Stephen, as we enter this Halloween stage of the season, we wanted to talk about the spooky scariness that are the smart speakers that live around some of our homes. I mean, my home is pretty much blanketed in Amazon Echoes. I'm pretty sure yours is very similarly equipped. No?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So why do people say and attribute the word scary or spooky when it comes to these speakers? I think that's because there's this impression and there's this myth and this rumor that these speakers are constantly listening to us. They are eavesdropping. They're learning stuff about us when we sleep. Do you really, down in the deeps of your gut, believe that to be true?
Well, let's hear from today's guest first, and then we can decide, right? Because if I'm honest, I came into this kind of splitting those two things up. So on one hand, yes, the devices are listening, but they're listening specifically for one word, which might begin with A or O for, okay, the other one. I don't know if they're listening to everything we're saying for nefarious reasons. I don't think they are. And I don't think they're listening out to learn anything about us. If they are learning anything about me, it's that I like to laze around, watch a ridiculous amount of Netflix, and eat a lot of chocolate. I mean, there's not much learning going on here, Mark. And that's actually partly jokingly for that reason I don't think they're listening to us, because we're not that interesting as a human species.
Smarter people than you and I have had this exact discussion before, and this question has been posed directly to the Amazons of the world and the Googles of the world and the Apples of the world. And what the response has been, pretty much in unison, has been that no, we're not listening. However,
no.
Yeah,
exactly.
but wait. But they also say that their search algorithms and the AI that's behind all this is so smart that it can, with a degree of percentage of difference, actually predict things that you're going to search for and your habits based on all the information they have on you. So they don't even need to listen to know what you're thinking about.
They know us already. That's true. No, that is true. And actually, and that's the other thing, right? You've got to think about, if you're buying from one particular place all the time and you're continually feeding information through searches, through product buying, all that aspect of it, then absolutely, the computer is building a picture of you and the kind of things you want. Like I'm sure you're the same, but my feed on certain big stores, like Amazon, is all computer parts, is all monitors, is hard drives, is, all those things, because that's what I'm always usually searching for. I'm forever looking for a new laptop, even though I've maybe found the one I like, I'll always want another one. So, I'm always getting, I love when you get this. I love when you get the notification that says, Amazon, I think you'd like a new laptop. And I'm like, I know! How did you know? But it's because that's what I've been searching for. That's what I'm always looking for. So that's, I think we are all to blame for this. And for that reason, I don't think we should worry about it.
Maybe we should put together a couple social experiments where we live a week without technology that has a microphone and see what the changes might be, or if there are any changes whatsoever in the habits or the results that end up in our search engine. We're talking about these smart speakers. We're talking about whether they listen to us or not, and how they can kind of predictively know what we're into. And we equate this with being scary because people are scared of this, and then this is how we get to Halloween. This is being our Halloween episode. Obviously, we're not.
Yeah, but hang on. But just, I know we're going to get into this in more detail, but the thing is, Mark, and this is what gets me, people always say this. I have a friend who said the same thing. I'm not buying a smart speaker because it's always listening to me, and I don't like that around my house. I don't like it around my children. This was the same guy who was sitting with a smart TV he was just showing off, which had a voice remote, and a smartphone next to him. It's got to get real here, right?
Yeah, well, and this is why we've made that connection between spooky, scary, smart speakers, but now we're going to make that connection and we're going to make that leap to, are there ways to secure this stuff? And thanks to companies like the one in which our next guest works at, which is NordVPN, we're going to be talking about ways to secure not only your smart speaker, but all your devices so that maybe you can get a little bit of a degree of some kind of privacy. Maybe?
Okay, well, look, I don't know. We'll see, because Justina's going to be joining us all the way from Lithuania shortly, risk manager at Nord Security. Really looking forward to hearing what she has to say. But I do think things are going to get very scary around here, Mark.
Whoa. Sorry, I just had to do that. It is Double Tap TV. He is Stephen Scott. I am Mark AFLALO. Thank you guys for being here each and every single week. Again, if you want to get involved in the conversation, we are so excited for you to do that. It's feedback at AMI.CA, and of course on all our social media, whether that be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. It is at Double Tap Canada, at doubletap.online. We take a quick break and come back with Justine from Nord.
For more great Double Tap TV content, visit AMI.CA/DoubleTap. This is Double Tap TV.
Welcome back to Double Tap TV. Thank you guys again for being here each and every single week. I won't remind you how to get involved because I do that so often, and you guys must be so annoyed by now. I am Mark AFLALO with Stephen Scott by my side. Stephen, we have our guest standing by. Did you say she's from Lithuania?
That's right, yeah, all the way from Lithuania. Justina is here. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce your second name, Justina. I don't want to offend you. But you are the risk manager at Nord Security. Thanks, first of all, for being with us here on Double Tap TV. This is probably the scariest question we can ask you. How safe are our smart speakers?
So whenever thinking about smart speakers, it is very important to understand that they actually take notes of everything you tell them to do or to search for. So that is how we create that kind of a portrait, a profile of ourselves to the companies that manufacture those devices. So the data that they gathered is stored and is later used by them to help those same companies to sell more devices to users, or even for marketers to target their audiences. And all the data that they collect and gather, we never are sure how it is being used, and that is one of the main issues. Also, smart speakers are not that common in some countries just because at the moment they support quite a limited number of languages. However, it is just a matter of time until smart speakers learn all the major languages and further increase their user base. At the moment in English-speaking countries, they are already very popular. So, for example, our research shows that in United Kingdom, 42% of households are already using smart speakers, which is a significant amount.
Okay, but what about the theory that we talked about a little bit earlier on the show where, these devices are listening to us all the time, and they're listening to everything we say, whether it be our smart speaker, maybe even our smartphone, and then suddenly we see advertisements everywhere on our social media feeds for those products that we just happen to be talking about throughout the household. Is it listening to those keywords and then acting upon it in some shape or form?
So it is a possibility that it definitely could be the case because, as I mentioned, they're not really listening to, they shouldn't be recording and using that information when we are not really intending to talk with them. However, sometimes it ends up recording you by accident. And even though, they claim that they are analyzing quite a small amount of that data for marketing research, we can never be fully sure about this information. So that is one of the possibilities and one of the concerns that we always have to be aware about, that, they are actually listening to that information additionally.
Let's bring this to data leaks, because there are so many instances we're hearing these days about one company having a data leak and our personal information being out there on the dark web, or another company, or banks. I mean, Facebook has happened so many times I can't even remember. Is our personal information safe, even though we're talking about stuff and these devices are quote unquote listening to us? Is our personal information safe, or should we be securing it?
So yes, unfortunately, no security system is fully secure. So that's why we hear about leaks from businesses, customer data breaches all the time. So one of the examples is in 2019, Google reported the leak of 1,000 smart speaker recordings. And the worrying part is that 153 of those, so 15% of those recordings, were actually the conversations that should have never been recorded. So the activation OK Google was never given, and those were quite, not intended conversations to be recorded. So, and in addition to that, smart speakers can be a point of vulnerability themselves. So we should really be always cautious and responsible about what information we tell them and what are we talking about next to it.
And in your view, are smart speakers more vulnerable than, say, smartphones, smart TVs?
Well, it's a good question. And I mean, the main vulnerability of a smart speaker itself is that they are usually connected in our homes with multiple devices. So it is enough for one device to get breached for the whole system to be in danger and jeopardized. So hacking a smart speaker itself is really not that easy, because they're usually voice controlled. So the hacker would actually need to be quite close to the smart speaker in order for it to hack it. But however, cyber criminals are always very up to the technology as well. So what they are doing at the moment, they created this malware which can hack your smart speaker by just basically infecting the smartphone that is being connected to your smart speaker. So what happens is once the phone gets malware from the infected app, criminals can access your command recordings and thus hack your smart speaker. And since all the devices are connected to smart speakers, it jeopardizes, as I mentioned, almost the entire system, and it can, compromise the safety of your whole household, including security cameras and your internet connection.
Stephen, Justine, I feel like we're going down this like dark conversation here, but I want to bring this to a positive light. So let's take a quick break. This is Double Tap TV. We're talking all about the scariness and the spookiness around this Halloween season, about our smart speakers and our smart devices. Let's take a quick break. Again, feedback at AMI.CA if you want to get involved in the conversation. Check out our social media. It is at DoubleTap Canada on Twitter and at DoubleTap.online on all other social media. We're going to come back with Justine and continue this conversation and see if we can spin this to a happier tone. It is Double Tap TV.
For more great Double Tap TV content, visit AMI.CA/DoubleTap. This is Double Tap TV.
We are back on Double Tap TV. Thank you again for being here each and every single week. Get involved in the conversation. The email address is feedback@ami.ca. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think that your devices are listening to you, and are you going to do something about it? Well, I am MARC, and Stephen Scott is by my side each and every single week. And we're joined this week by Justina from NordVPN, as they call it in Canada, or Nord Security, talking all about, how we can lock down these devices. And as I alluded to before we went to a break, Justina, is there any positive spin here, any positive news that can come out of this? Like, the things we're talking about here sound pretty bleak and pretty negative in terms of losing our information and personal information especially.
Of course, smart speakers are still very helpful and very an important part of many households, as I mentioned. And there are ways to protect yourself. I don't want for the listeners to be overwhelmed with all the information I'm about to give. So just note that if you do at least a few of the steps that I'm about to say, you're already quite closer to being a bit more secure. And yeah, we can always improve our cybersecurity by, just thinking about what kind of information we give to the companies. And so one of the best things you can do with smart speakers, I think the simplest ones, is just to review the default settings when you get the device. So just review the privacy and security settings and turn off the recording. That's already one big step, to be in control of your own data. One more thing you can do is just to mute the microphone whenever you don't want to be heard by your device.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the solutions that are actually out there. Nord Security obviously has NordVPN. So I guess let's start with the basics. What exactly is a VPN? I know it stands for Virtual Private Network, but what is it doing?
So it kind of creates this encrypted tunnel for your data, which protects your online identity by hiding your IP addresses. And also, it's not only very good when you are trying to protect your household, it's a great tool when you're traveling. So with VPN, you can connect quite safely to a public Wi-Fi hotspots and just protect your data all the way at home and when traveling.
Now, as you're saying, your company provides VPN services, but you do more than that. Tell us about NordVPN.
So, well, NordVPN is one of the world's most advanced VPN services. So it provides double VPN encryption, malware blocking, and onion over VPN. So this product is actually very user-friendly. It offers one of the best prices on the market and has over 5,000 servers in 60 countries. One of the key features that we are very proud of is NordVPN has a zero-log policy, which means all of the information, everything you do on the internet stays with you.
And I noticed while looking into your company that you offer a range of other products as well, such as a password locker?
Yes, that's correct. So NordPass is also a product for individual consumers it's a password manager that helps you to store all your passwords safely in one account and also generate passwords for your new accounts. So it really simplifies these tasks and increase your cybersecurity a lot. We also have other products who are some of them are more to the businesses like NordVPN Teams and also NordLocker when you can store your actual data.
I want to get a bit personal here, Justina, because I've got two young kids. One's almost 12, one is 9. Is it safe for me to be putting one of these smart speakers in their rooms? Because right now they have them.
I would say yes. It is always, good to think about, what kind of information you want the smart speaker to hear and to hear about you as we talked. So what kind of information you don't really want to be shared with the device, you should just try to avoid saying next to it. So always think about, what is the priority to have that device, for example, from your parents' standpoint, in your child's bedroom. Do you want that kind of information accidentally being recorded and probably stored in this process? And if the answer is no, then probably you should consider just, keeping it in a different place.
Justina, thank you so much for coming on and terrifying us all with this news. Mark, I don't know about you, but I am terrified. I think I'm going to go around my house. I mean, it will take a while, but I'll unplug all these devices and I will throw them away immediately. What about you?
I think I'm going to just cut the cable to my internet and just that's it. We're done. The fiber is done to my house.
Bet.
There is no smart speaker that can connect to anything. Sadly, I think my kids are smart enough now. They will find some way around it. They're going to learn how to hack onto a neighbor's Wi-Fi, or they're going to use my phone, or something's going to happen. But yeah, I'm absolutely terrified, which is very fitting a couple days before Halloween here.
I think that's the problem, isn't it? We've become so reliant on these devices. They're not just fun toys. They are actually functional devices that we live live, in some cases we control our homes with. So, it is part of our lives now, and to get rid of it would be like taking away my smartphone, and you're not getting that, Mark.
A story I told a couple of weeks ago on Double Tap Canada on AMI Audio was, my network went belly up on a weekend, and it was just an auto update that I left on, and it wiped everything out. I had to reset everything up from scratch. It took me 2 days, and I was finally getting my shower voice activated again, my heated floors voice activated again. My whole smart home came crumbling down, and I was just desperate to get it back up and running. But I think that's a little sad, no?
No, well, I think the shower, perhaps. Everything else, I'll let you away with. But I get it, auto update is possibly the next scary topic we'll do next Halloween.
Don't make fun of my shower. If you had a shower that could keep the temperature the entire time that you're in there, and you're not worrying about making it hotter or cooler, and you had perfect temperature the entire time, I bet you would jump for that in a second.
I've got that. I just don't touch the temperature thing. Solves problem.
Yeah.
I've saved a fortune.
Thank
You're
you guys.
a slave to smarts, AFLALO.
I know. I try. Thank you guys for being here again this week on Double Tap TV. Of course, thanks to our guest, Justina. On behalf of Justina and Stephen Scott, I am Mark AFLALO. Please get in touch with us. Feedback at AMI.CA. Our email address on Twitter, we are at Double Tap Canada. And all of social media, it is at doubletap.online. We keep the conversation going, and we chat with you again next week here on Double Tap TV.
Hosted by Mark AFLALO and Stephen Scott. Editing, Jordan Steves and Mark AFLALO. Voiceover, Anna Vocino. Integrated Described Video Specialist, Ron Rickford. Coordinating Producer, Jennifer Johnson. Director, Production, Kara Nye. Director, Programming, Brian Perdue. VP, Content Development and Programming, John Melville. President and CEO, David Errington. Copyright 2021, Accessible Media, Inc.